Hey guys, I just want to share with you a quick distinction from one of my meetings. I just had a meeting here in Bakersfield, California, and I drove 4 hours to get here. I could have done a webinar, but I so wanted to just speak to these people. I love it. When you love what you do, more of you shows up. And so it's not just about having passion and energy, and that's a big part. It also takes some skill and some strategy to really effectively communicate with people and win them onto your way of thinking in a way that actually gets them from not interested to committed to having their life changed through your product or service. And today, I was thinking this morning about a friend of mine shared a video the other day, Mark Lack, I'll tag you in this, and talking about something Tony Robbins put together, these distinctions that help you move somebody down the field. And the analogy, the metaphor was a football field. The first 40 yards are the metaphor of identification in this metaphor, and it's basically when people hear your story or they're relating to you in the first 40%, where they're hearing about you, they're connecting with you, and they're thinking, wow, me too, not so what. So as you get further down, you want to be able to kill some objections, you want to be able to align and condition them. And so one of the strategies that I want to succinctly share with you here in this video is what we call attack and confess. Attack and confess. And so when you are communicating with somebody and you have the idea that possibly they're going to have some objections, time, money, things like that, you want to make sure that you attack these objections, but you're not attacking them. So the way that I do it, and again, I got this word for word. I mean, you know, watching Tony speak, and the guy is just a legend. If you break down a lot of what he's doing linguistically, energetically in front of a room, and attack and confess. I knew, being all the way here in Bakersfield, and it's 4 hours to the UPW event, I wanted to attack the objection and kill it, kill that monster before it rears its ugly head. And so I wanted to kill money, I wanted to kill the money objection. And so here's what I said. I would talk about, you know, money and about limitations and about how we get caught in our stories. And I'd say, oh, money is one of those things. You know, it's not our lack of resources, it's our lack of resourcefulness. And for me, one of the biggest challenges in my life that used to stop me from moving my life forward, my family's life forward, was this thing called money. I mean, who here has ever had challenges with money? Me too, me too. Well, what I really got clear, I got honest with myself one day. I found around this money thing that there were times in my life where it was so important to me, where I was so committed that I would not settle. Maybe for you, it was a family member was sick, or something was just so important. You wanted something so bad, and you wouldn't settle. You wouldn't lie to yourself. You say, you know what? I'm going to make it happen. Who here has ever had a time there was no way, but you made it happen? If so, say I. They say I. And so I say, yeah, that's, you know, there were so many times where I just broke through, and I knew there was something in me that I made it happen based on my commitment. But there were other times where I lied to myself. I said I couldn't afford it. I couldn't find the money. I couldn't do it. And I sold myself on limitation. I sold myself on what I couldn't do. But deep down, I knew that if I had been more committed, that, you know, there's always a way if we're committed. And if I hadn't lied to myself about my limitations, if I hadn't lied to myself about money, that I probably could have had it happen, and I would have been able to provide that result for myself and really experience life. So now, if I ever catch myself in the pattern of saying that I can't afford something, I say, Eli, you're a fucking liar. Now, I wouldn't be lying to say that it's hard to find the money, and I wouldn't be lying to say that I don't know how to find the money. But to say that I can't do something, to say that it's impossible for me to do something that so many other people are doing right now, to do something that would make my life and my family's life better, if I sell myself in the limitation and say that I can't afford something, well, that's the biggest lie that we could ever tell ourselves. Because when we do that, when I do that, when you do that, when you sell yourself on what you can't do, when you say you can't afford something, what does that just kill? What does that kill? I say everything. I say, that's right, it kills everything. So you and I can't lie to ourselves anymore, can we? You can't lie to yourself, you can't lie to yourself, you can't lie to yourself, you can't lie to yourself anymore. And neither can I. Can we? And now they're like, shit, you know? And now in about 20 minutes from now, when I'm gonna ask them for money, and they're immediately gonna think, you know, I can't afford it, but that's why I use the F word, you know, you fucking liar. So that really grabbed their attention. And now they're thinking, well, Eli, just get, so it's a different interaction, and they go internal, and then you've got to be able to direct that energy so they don't feel bad, but they feel empowered, they feel resourceful, and you get them to ask a different question. You know, so that brings up the question, where can I find the money? Because you do want these results, don't you? Pleasure, 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 and not have to go through the pain and struggle of the last year or the last decade. You don't want to have to deal with that, do you? Pain, pain, pain. So you're always playing around with this. Let me know if this has been useful to you. Don't want this to be too long, but let me know if this applies to you, or if there's a way that you think you could implement this into your communication. Attack and confess.